Yo, yo, yo. Hold on, make sure my audio is good. Sorry for the late start. Hold on. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry for the late start, y'all. Episode 31. That's fire. For y'all don't know, I wore 31 in college my freshman year. So freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So shout out to 31. It's a good day. Definitely a fun conversation. First thing I want to do, shout out our gold members, Cobra Son of Raditz. Shout out to Comatose in the Clutch, and shout out to the Legend segment. Obviously, make sure I say it here first and foremost. Deck the halls, December 23rd, Dub versus Mars. Ticket versus Chilltown. Gonna be a fire event. Make sure I get tuned in for that. And also, as you can see, make sure you grab your phones, check out that QR code, and make sure you get yourself some merch. If you got somebody that you know is a Player's Choice fan, if there's somebody you know that's a Player's Choice fan, make sure you go grab them some merch. Nasty title, JRob. Yes, I know the title is nasty, but the reason for the title, chat, is really for a different conversation. I'm really trying to have a different conversation because the title, this is one of those really titles. Now, hear me out on the title. The reason why I named it this title is because I think with the addition of the in-season tournament, I believe with obviously there's MVP awards and not only the Eastern and Western Conference, there's MVP awards in that. And then obviously they added, most clutch player of the year in the NBA, things of that nature. And so the conversation I really want to have, and the reason why I put that up there is as we get into this next generation of basketball and basketball players in the NBA, how does accolades weigh in, and when you compare this next iteration of the sport versus obviously the previous iterations? Because what I'm thinking is, for example, we look at the top bigs to ever play the game, right? So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, KG, all of these people. We have the next generation in Chet Holmgren. We got our Chet Holmgrens and Alperen Senguns, Jokic, and Embiid. But even younger than that, Wembanyama. And so when I look at these players, my question becomes, when we start having these conversations, how do these new modern day differences in the NBA, how do they hold rank in the average, conversations about greatness? Because also when you think about it, we got a top 75 team. I'm assuming in the next 25 years, there'll be a top 100 team. So do some of these older generations of basketball players in let's say the 70s, the 80s, the 60s, how will they be able to measure to these next wave of basketball players because of, are we really going to be, we probably are at some point, we may not say it now, but eventually people are going to compare in-season tournament wins, in-season tournament MVPs, Magic Johnson MVP versus Larry Bird MVP. Like those, I think will enter those conversations. And so I wonder, how does that conversation potentially change? You know what I'm saying? And does it actually, is it going to matter? I don't think the answer is immediate. But for example, I think LeBron James winning the in-season tournament and it being the first one and him being the first one to win it, I think is going to hold weight and how the longevity of that feat is going to matter in the NBA. Because in the history books of the NBA, when they first started talking about the in-season tournament and they do the history behind it, in 10 years, in 20 years, when they roll like that historical clip of LeBron James winning the first one, and then whoever won the second one, and then who won the fifth one, and things like that, because it'll be the 10th in-season tournament, is going to look like this crazy historic event. Is that I think it'll matter more. So I don't want y'all to get too lost in the title, because it's not really to say that Michael Jordan is still not 1B, or in my opinion, LeBron's 1A in the GOAT debate. It's really more to say that there's going to be a next generation of NBA fans and basketball fans who are going to debate whether or not this player is as great as this player, because he got this many NBA Cups, plus this title, plus this MVP. So I think now there's so many more accolades to go get. I think it does make it a bit difficult to determine whether or not, this player is greater than that player. So that's that I think is crazy. I do got context. He's supposed to pull up in a minute, so we was going to talk about this a bit because we want to talk about how like the next generation of basketball players. When you look at your Shea Alexanders, your Ant Edwards, obviously the Chets, the Wembys of the world, you got all these next generation. That in-season tournament was some BS. Mingle Jester. Why do you feel that way? That in-season tournament was. My question is, why do you think do you think the in-season tournament was a bad thing for the NBA, and why was it some BS? I definitely want to hear your explanation behind that. I find it to be very difficult to believe that something that is competitive amongst its constituents makes it BS. I think a lot of those players, especially the Pacers, I think they wanted to win pretty bad. I think it mattered to them. So, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to say I actually found the in-season tournament to be enjoyable. Now, do I think when you compare all-time greats, am I going to say, oh, man, this player, his NBA cups over this player? I personally won't do that because I still think winning the finals is going to matter. MVPs are going to matter. First-team All-NBAs are going to matter. The setup was trash. Was it because of the rules? I mean, y'all got to understand. Let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all have an issue with the rules? Because the rules might have been, obviously there's points and, some people were running up scores. And there was that whole situation with the Bulls versus the Celtics. Did y'all have an issue with the rules when you say the setup was trash? Or do you have more so a problem with how they did the brackets, maybe the end of it? It was good. Money was on the line. I actually think the reason why I feel like the LeBron James and the Lakers winning the first one because of how big the brand is, I think it built some good starting momentum for the next few years. But I also believe that the in-season tournament at some point, I think to take it over the hump to that next notch, I do think they should consider guaranteeing a playoff spot, maybe a 7th or a 6th seed in the playoffs. I think that would be something that would be not only the money, a playoff spot. I think that's a lot to play for. And obviously you still win the NBA Cup and you still win and you still get the NBA Cup banner. I heard the Lakers are putting up an NBA Cup banner. So I definitely think that is cool. In your opinion, how weight does that AAU tournament hold? It's definitely AAU. What up, Randy? It's definitely AAU style for sure. I like the one and done because for upstart teams and young teams who are coming up in the NBA, I think it was a good opportunity. It's going to be a good opportunity for them because these is one-off games. I think it's 7-game series. Obviously, I don't think some of these teams will match up. Like I think the Pacers, this was their ceiling for this season was winning the NBA Cup final. That would have been the ceiling. But I don't think it's going to hold too much weight.
I was going to say, JRob, whatever you talked about, just because there is one thing I wanted to mention about the in-season tournament. I don't know how many of y'all, especially people watch this, heard how Halliburton said. Halliburton straight up says, like, I've never won anything. So you can clearly tell by how the Pacers played that it meant something to them, especially if you're at a place where the Pacers were, you're kind of dead end. You're just kind of going through the season. Maybe one time you're the 8th seed and you barely win the play and then you lose in the first round. This really meant something to them. And there are plenty of those players out there that fans love, whether it's Halliburton or if a couple of years ago, people would have been saying the same thing about De'Aaron Fox or Zion. Like, for instance, the fact that if you notice, a lot of people talking bad about Zion is how he looked when, as a Lakers, were literally giving him the business. It's like these things matter, and you never know how a team could take something like this and use it to propel them in the future. JRob, how many times have we seen a team in the NFL take either a good win or like a really close loss and use that to propel them through the season? Case in point, the 2020 Bucks. They barely lose that close game to Kansas City, and then they never lose another game the rest of the year.
Kansas City.
Yeah, like the 2020 Buccaneers.
Oh, Buccaneers.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the Bucks, the basketball team. My bad.
Yeah. But we just see things like that, or like those things just kind of matter. Like I understand that doesn't hold enough weight. It doesn't hold a lot of weight, but you saw that money really mattered.
No, it did.
Yeah.
No, I think for sure the money definitely. If you playing for anything, like bro, if I went to the park, right, and I'm playing with you, and you say, JRob, play me for $5 right now, and you put the money on the table, play me for $5. It may just be $5, but I'm playing you. Let's play for it. Like it's something worth playing for. 500 racks is still 500 racks. You know, billionaires stay billionaires because they frugal with their money. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron talking about the money and him making sure, you know, and those young players on the roster definitely talked about how LeBron came into the locker room and was like, I'm going to get this money for y'all. Don't worry. I got y'all. Like it mattered for players on the team, and it did bring a bit of excitement. You know, I said earlier that I think over time it may have a playoff spot implication. And JRob, and then Mingle Jester says, then what wouldn't it be fair to the other teams that actually work for their spot? I don't think teams are not.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, JRob.
No, I was going to say, I don't think it diminishes people who work for their spot because we still have a play-in tournament anyway. You know, we've already told you that you being the 8th, the 7th, or the 7th or the 8th seed, it don't matter because you're going to play the 9th and the 10th seed, get an opportunity to get into the playoffs. So ultimately, the idea of being fair for teams to work to get there, we've already taken that out the window when we added the play-in tournament. So me thinking that if we're going to up the ante and up the stakes, and what I'm saying is try to make it feel like there's something more to play for, I think that 7th seed or that 6th seed, because obviously the 7th and 8th seeds are determined through the play-in, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 6th seed, maybe that may be the NBA in-season tournament champion. I do feel like if you're trying to create more money about it and make it a bigger deal and make sure those NBA Cup banners may mean something more down the line, then it becomes a big deal. Because when you think about it in hindsight, all these people who have NBA Cup MVPs, they all know a playoff spot was on the line, plus the money. So, and obviously the bragging rights that came with it. So I think if you're trying to up the ante, it will be something to consider.
Well, I will say this. You have to find a way, because right now, what works for the in-season tournament is the novelty. And how long before that novelty wears off, JRob? A couple years, maybe 5 years. You have to find a way. And I mentioned this to Chill. He's kind of hesitant. He really showed some pushback toward it about getting him a playoff spot. I'm not saying you give him, obviously, like you said, like a 5th seed or something like that. But what if winner of the in-season tournament is guaranteed at least a play-in spot?
I think it's cool. I think if you're trying to make it mean something more, it gotta mean something more. You know, that's what I feel. I personally think if you're trying to make, and I think it would fit with this whole thing that what is this? Every year this thing's going to be in Vegas. This whole gambling idea, high risk, high reward. You know, I think that all has something to do with it. And listen, you can't be mad at the Lakers for going 7-0 in the in-season tournament. Everybody knew them games was on Tuesday. There was no Tuesday and Friday, right? Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesday and Friday. All them games.
I thought it was Tuesday and Friday. I think
it's Tuesday and Friday. So everybody had an opportunity to take those games seriously. So I think it would be. I think it was worth playing for personally, and I think adding the playoff game up the ante, I think it would be lit.
If anything, JRob, I understand that you cover the Lakers for your day job. I would actually really liked it if Indiana found a way. Yeah. If I would have liked it if Indiana found a way to win that game. Like obviously it was close. They had some chances, but the Lakers just proved too powerful. And right now it's novelty. I think they should probably find a way to up the end a little bit more money, right? A little bit more money. But if you give me a guaranteed play-in spot, now the Charlottes of the world, the Indiana Pacers of the world, ironically, the Pelicans of the world, like these middling teams have something to play for. And the biggest problem, at least for me with the NBA, is the fact that from basically the start of the season till about Christmas, a little bit afterwards, it feels like the NBA is not doing anything. So you've added something.
I will say this that needs to be put in perspective, Random. They could up that money because look, let's be real with you, bro. Let's be real. How much money you think the in-season tournament made this year? Probably in revenue. A little over 100 racks, you think, right?
I was about to say, yeah.
100 million, my bad.
100 million, yeah.
100 million, maybe 100,
Hello,
200
everybody.
million.
Hello,
what up, Gabe? Maybe even more than that. Let's just say it did awesome year one. Let's say they made $300 million.
Didn't they? I thought they had said that the in-season tournament was projected to make them like $1 billion in revenue or some shit.
All right, boom. That's even crazier. So they made $1 billion. They made $1 billion in revenue. Why can't you give every player on the team $2 million?
Well, we know why the owners ain't trying to give away $2 million.
Nah, they go. We were talking about that in the Discord.
$28 million out of $1 billion,
and
I just don't think. Well, I agree with you. I just don't think. We know how the owners are, man. They're not trying to give away money that they don't need to give away.
All I'm saying is $28 out of $1 billion. You tell every NBA player there's $2 million on the line.
That's like money for that 12th dude on the bench.
We were talking about it in the Discord, and they had said like maybe in the future, like they're gonna have like a sports betting company like sponsor the whole thing, so like a FanDuel sponsor or like something else. So they're probably gonna. I think they'll definitely up the ante on the amount.
Yeah, I was gonna say this also. Don't forget, this is the NBA testing the Vegas market. By the way, by having all those games,
100%.
They're testing the market, making sure, okay, if we do something, we got a team here. If LeBron at that point is retired and he's like, I want to put it on this team, they're testing the market. The NBA clearly cared enough to make, because I use this when I talk to Chill about it. My mom, I was watching it at her crib, and my mom just walked by and she's like, why is this the NBA? What's going on? Because the courts look different. If the vibe even though I didn't really like a lot of the courts except for the Atlanta Hawks one, I thought that one was clean. But I like the NBA.
One. That one was cool.
The NBA was like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna commit and try to make this a separate product. And you don't put in that much effort, and you're just like, all right, we're gonna be done. This is the only time we're gonna do it. Like Leaf said, it's gonna be there next year. If anything. If they, I feel like they just have to tell, like, look, we're giving away a play-in spot. We're giving away a play-in spot, and I think that's what you need.
I don't think. Go ahead, Gabe. Go ahead.
No, Gabe. I was gonna say I don't know how to feel about that because like you can't confirm like some playoff stuff so early into the season. Like I don't know how to feel about that. Like I never liked the play-in to begin with. You know, I don't think you should give two teams that aren't in the top 8 a chance because if you didn't make it, you didn't make it.
Yeah,
but Chutzal says it all the time. The end season the play-in is the 82 game regular season. If you didn't make it, you didn't make it, right? So that's one I never liked it. And for two, I don't think it's a good idea to confirm a playoff chance so early into the season because that team can easily plummet throughout the rest of the season and not even make and be like a bottom 12 team. And
so then, Gabe, how do you make the in-season tournament last? Giving away, even giving away $2 million can only make it last so long.
I just personally think that play-in tournament, the NBA has already decided, Gabe, that they are going to prioritize entertainment over fairness.
for sure.
And so because they're going to prioritize entertainment, I believe everybody knows that if a play-in spot or a playoff spot was implicated into whoever wins the in-season tournament, you probably will get more competitive games. You know what I'm saying? Them Tuesday and Friday night games will get more competitive because I also look at it like this. If I'm a team, right, that is teetering because one of my stars got hurt, we're missing a guy for a long period of time. This gives a lot of those teams leeway going into the postseason. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a team like the Clippers, who always seem to be riddled with some sort of injuries or something like that, maybe winning the in-season tournament earlier in the year, securing a play-in spot, securing a 6 seed, you know, they can 100% benefit off of, you know, getting guys healthy, sending guys out, so things like that. I'm not saying it's ethically the right thing for the NBA to do, but if you want to raise the stakes, that's why I think that goes. What's up, Mila Jester? Oh, go ahead.
You just mentioned it though. Like if you secure that playoff spot so early into the season, wouldn't that new rule that they implemented would be rendered mute, because then it gives them a chance to rest the players out later into the year, and then it takes away from the the competitiveness later in the year. If you like if it was the Clippers, we already secured the playoff spot for the in-season tournament, we're not going to play you later down the line.
They can't. Like, I'm not saying they could sit out, like take games off. They still will have to play, because obviously guaranteeing yourself a playing spot isn't the best situation. You still want to have a 5th, 6th, 7th. It's just guaranteeing you a spot to compete for it. So instead of maybe having the 10th seed, if the playing team is not a top 6 seed, they're not a top 6 seed, then they're automatically the 10 seed and they get into the play-in. But ultimately, nobody wants to be in the play-in. Like there's no if
you're trying to make the playoffs, you are trying to avoid the play-in at all costs. Like even let's just use the Clippers. The Clippers win, right? The Clippers win the in-season tournament. You're guaranteed a play-in spot. They're still trying to be the 6th seed. Because like, guess what? Because I understand Miami Heat's run last year was crazy, but it could have easily just been like, man, the Miami had the 8th seed. They lost 2 straight games. And how are we talking about Jimmy Butler right now? We're not talking about him the same way we were talking about last year. So nobody's trying to get in the play-in spot, like if they truly if they can help it. That's the only reason I'm saying play-in spot. You just get into the tournament. You get into the tournament to fight for the playoffs. That's all it is.
Man, context switch that's all it is. This man switched from Anthony Edwards to Halliburton just like that, bro.
The glaze is crazy.
Slow
down.
Bro had a pick. Last time I seen context, his icon was Jordan, Kobe, and Edwards. Now it's Tyrese Halliburton.
Don't forget, he had Guns and Buns for a little bit too.
Yo, I'm gonna say it again. The glaze is crazy.
No, it's not glaze. He been on Hallie for longer than anybody, bro.
Thank you. Let's lock in, fellas. Let's lock in. But salute to the panel, man. Salute to Bam. I just want to say this. What you guys was getting into? You guys were getting into like the implications in terms of.
You talking about the in-season tournament, and I was just
more. Like, how can they evolve it?
How it can last, really?
Because I think obviously this is the first installment, but I think over time it's going to get bigger. People are going to want the stakes to be higher, and so I was saying that they should guarantee either a playing spot or a playoff spot. But now think about it, they should just guarantee a playing spot instead of having that 10th seed. Instead of having that 10th seed, the 10th seed goes to the NBA Cup winner, but if the NBA Cup winner ends up being the 6th seed or above, then that goes to the 10th seed, but you automatically guarantee a chance at the play-in.
Real quick context. What about this, JRob? If let's just say the Pacers win, right?
But hold on, I want we don't got that much time, so I want other people to be able to get a chance though too. Go ahead, context.
Yeah, so I agree in terms of adding more incentive that can actually be playoff implications. I agree with that. It's going to be a hard sell because of records. So, for example, even though you do well, let's say you kind of bottom out towards the end of the season. Like, you get what I mean? Like, imagine you have like an injury. Let's say, for example, let's say the Lakers right now. Let's say Anthony Davis he has an injury, God forbid, right? I know Jay's praying to God right now. The Lakers, they don't bring that up. Right. So imagine if their record is shit, but they're guaranteed a playoff spot. Then it would, you know what I mean? It would be counterintuitive for the NBA. I do agree. Now let me throw this little side quest at y'all. Don't you think it's kind of funny that LeBron is already proposing the idea of being the Las Vegas owner, and that they had the tournament in Las Vegas?
I said it. Context. They're testing out the Vegas market with that.
Right. So I'm just saying it's kind of interesting that they serve my guy Halliburton on the platter for LeBron. That's kind of nasty work. But it's cool. Halliburton will take it on the hot. All I'm saying that I think the NBA is very invested, JRob, and eventually they're going to include playoff implications to make it more spicier. I think what happens is if you make the players play with just way more energy, the fans are going to be way more invested. Now, what's going to happen with this dead spot that's going to occur during February and March? You know what I mean? Luckily, you have college basketball for March.
And also at that point, you're facing baseball. Football's done.
Right.
You're facing baseball at that point. You're not worried anymore.
That's fair. That's
fair.
Well, that's fair.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, I'm just gonna leave it at this. They need to get rid of all this mess. They literally need to get rid of all this mess. The play in, they need to get rid of that in season nonsense. They need to get rid of all this and leave it like it was in the early 2000s and all those years. Let's go back to those years.
What do you mean?
Like I see them. What you call it? Like I don't like the in-season, not the in-season tournament. I don't like the play-in, but the in-season tournament was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. For who? They had a good idea for who? For the what you call it?
Yeah,
the viewers.
For the viewers, for the people watching.
They made hella money from the in-season tournament.
Hold on.
They made hella money.
What you call it? It was good for the contract players. They got $500K confirmed money for the two-way contract players. It doesn't add anything else. They were regular season games except the championship. They made it more competitive. They brought more viewers. They made hella money. The players that don't make money made money. Why would they take it away?
It was competitive for who?
Watching it.
For the players. Every player that played in it, they were competitive. All the games were good.
That joint wasn't no competitive, man. Stop it.
Mingled.
What?
Mingled. There is a problem right here that the NBA has been facing, and JRob can tell you. From about the start of the season to about Christmas.
Yes.
Nobody really cares about this point in the NBA. That's the perception.
You watch because you're a fan.
Mingled. You watch it because you're a fan, but they're trying to get people.
I did not watch it, bro. I already knew who was gonna win that tournament before they first came up with it.
Mingle, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, maybe you didn't watch it, but they already got you, Mingle. Chill said this also. Mom, I was at my mom's house and I was watching one of the games. My mom walked by. She said, "What's this? What's going on?" They're trying to get more viewers into the product, and they so they're giving those games, those regular season games, a little extra oomph. Whether you like it or not, the NFL is this juggernaut that the NBA has to deal with, and they're trying to find ways to keep their product profitable.
I get that, but this is my only thing. If you're gonna try to make the tournament competitive, don't rig it for one team to win it. That's what I'm saying.
How did they rig that?
That's what I'm saying.
How is it rigged?
How is it rigged?
Just get into
you
that.
Just don't like the Lakers. That's all I'm hearing.
Explain how.
So now we out here blind, deaf, and dumb, huh?
No, explain it. Okay. We're being blind. Explain how it was rigged.
Come on, bro.
So you tell me Giannis and Dame and Jason.
The NBA on purpose cleared out all the teams that could possibly beat the Lakers to get them to fucking play the Pacers. Come on, bro. Get serious. The Pacers. Seriously? What are we doing here, man? The Bucks got put out. The Celtics got put out, and they scared them. Come on, man. Stop it.
It's the NBA's fault. It's the NBA's fault, and the NBA rigged the situation for the Bucks having one of the worst perimeter defenses in the NBA and losing to the Pacers. That's on the NBA. That's the NBA's fault.
Man, get out of here with that. I get not guys. Do that talking. So now do that talking. I guarantee you, I will bet you any amount of money. I will guarantee you I will bet you any amount of money. I don't care how much you come up with. I will bet you any amount of money that the Pacers would not beat the Bucks in a 7-game series. Neither the Celtics.
That's the point.
Neither the Celtics.
It's a 1-game series.
Neither the Celtics. That's my point. That's my point.
Any team in any sport, a 1-game elimination thing can go to anybody and how you play. That's in any sport.
That's what makes the NCAA.
Anybody can win.
Get out of here with that, bro. Y'all know that was some nonsense. That was a bunch of nonsense.
Don't sleep on the
Pacers. Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
Man, the Pacers ain't beating the Bucks and the Celtics. I'm telling you now. They not beating the Bucks and the Celtics.
They did. How's it rigged?
They did. Yeah, and that play-in nonsense.
In the NBA,
Yeah, and that in-season nonsense. Yes, they did.
What in-season nonsense? It's a regular season game.
Bro, I just told you that in-season nonsense.
What do they gain from winning the in-season tournament other than $500K? That it was so rigged. What do the teams gain?
That jump was nonsense, bro. Y'all know that jump was nonsense. Stop it.
Get off my lawn.
Hold on. If it's nonsense, what do they gain that you don't like?
What?
What do the teams gain from winning the in-season tournament that you don't like?
I don't like the in-season tournament, period. What are you talking about? I don't care what they gain. I don't like it anyway. Because it's dumb. It's stupid.
You're an idiot.
It's stupid. Nigga, you're an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. You an idiot.
Easy.
What are you talking about?
And now I can't call him an idiot. But we good. We move.
No. It's cool. We're not gonna go there because at the end of the day.
What you gonna call me an idiot for? It ain't that serious.
Going to say how no businesses work. You want shit to be like the 2000s and nobody to come watch the NBA. You're stuck in the past, bro. It's like,
bro. I'm gonna ask you one simple question. Y'all keep saying that. I'm gonna ask you one simple question. Why do they need perks and stuff to make the NBA? It's the NBA. It's not college.
Because
why do they need stuff to make it better?
They want people to watch the NBA. What the fuck is so? Excuse my language. I don't know what's so hard to understand, but you old idiots don't understand.
Listen. No. It's not all old guys. It's not all old guys. It's some old guys. But listen, Jester, the thing is, the reason why I don't know why Gabe got so upset, but your point that is dumb. Your point that is
hard-headed dummy.
Listen, no. I get it. He sounds hard-headed. He sounds hard.
Nigga, you a dummy.
All right, enough, guys. Let's talk. Let's just have a conversation. We talking about the next wave of basketball. But Jester, how I personally think about how you looking at it is very definitely a little closed-minded, a little purist. Is fine if that's your speed. But unfortunately, my brother, in 2023, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And at the end of the day, when you making money, the problem is I think older generation. Hold on, I didn't cut you off. The older generation sometimes want to see that pure, rugged, hard fouling basketball, the 90s and early 2000s.
That never existed, but we moved.
That they love so much. That's cool. That traditional stuff is cool. I'm not mad at that. However, unfortunately, in life, as years go on, things evolve. Evolution, more technology, resources. So that's going to come with it. A business is never going to stay stagnant. That's why the WWF turned into the WWE. Now they have their own streaming service called the WWE Network. Evolution, you making money. So this in-season tournament, the NBA, Gabe had mentioned, they made $1 billion in revenue. Why would they stop doing something that makes $1 billion in revenue and it brings in all these new viewers and new sponsorship and new promotion because Mingle Jester thinks it's dumb? That's not going to change the NBA trying to change and evolve.
So let me ask you a question.
The playing tournament was brought in. The playing
so let's go with this. So let's go with this.
If it makes money, it makes sense.
Okay.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
So let's go with this. Well, first of all, that's dumb about money. Even since the beginning of the time, it's been about money.
They got to play the games anyway.
And they still count as regular season wins.
Yeah. Like, they got to play regardless.
So, hold on. Bingle Jester. What JRob is saying about the evolution. Okay.
That's it. Anyway, so let me ask you this thing.
I think he's lagging.
Oh, he's
lagging.
That bad. Why? So with the NBA being that,
he's in a wash machine right now.
Why do the NFL don't come up with an in-season tournament?
Because the NFL didn't come up with an in-season tournament. You know what they did? They added an extra game.
NFL product.
They added an extra game. You know what the NFL did?
Wow.
You said
one game.
Bingo, let me show you.
Hold on. He's not letting me finish.
The NBA added one extra game too.
Hold on, Gabe.
He asked me a question. He
The
said, how did
in-season
the
tournament
NBA
way more than one game.
Let me answer.
Hold on, Gabe. Let him go.
Let me answer his question. He asked a question. I'm gonna give him an answer. He said, "How did the NFL? What did the NFL do to make it more entertaining?" Obviously, obviously thinking with our brains here. You can't have an in-season football tournament because football is a different level of context.
It's a weekly game.
However, what did the NFL do to not only boost entertainment and boost overall viewership? Well, one, let's on Thursday nights partner with Amazon Music, Amazon Prime. Let's do shows. Let's have an old panel. Let's do post game.
It's not the same thing. You know it. That is not the same thing. You know it. That ain't the same. Come on, man. That's the same thing.
I'm not done.
Let him finish.
If you look at the Pro Bowl,
that is not the same thing.
If you look at the Pro Bowl, who the views were down in the Pro Bowl, when they started at it, they add a whole bunch of extra games, activities, things of that nature. They put 2 games on Monday Night Football now. There's been multiple things the NFL has incorporated.
They made a Friday game on Black Friday.
Thursday night they added a Black Friday game. So to sit here and try to act like
do you get a cup?
Not add things.
So do you get a cup? Do you get a cup for winning that?
No, mingled. Hold on. This is what.
So do you get a cup for winning that stuff that you named?
Hold up.
Let me take over. Do you get a cup for playing the Pro Bowl?
Mingled, please.
You literally asked a question. I gave you an answer.
It's a dumb answer. It's a dumb answer. It's a dumb answer. It's a dumb answer.
The only thing that says the answer is dumb.
That's a dumb answer. That was a dumb answer. That answer was dumb. That answer was dumb.
Your logic.
I'm telling you now.
Your logic on this, on how you feel about what the NFL and NBA are doing is based off it's dumb. Your answer, the way you look at sports is dumb because you think everything is dumb. You got
that answer was dumb. Very dumb.
I get you stuck. Wow. I understand you're stuck in VCR and cassette tapes. But at the end of the day, brother, my answer could be dumb. But I'm telling you what the NFL did.
Y'all, that's lame. That's so lame.
Entertainment. It's sports entertainment at the end of the day. You have to remember.
You're telling me everything I'm saying is dumb. You're telling me my opinion is dumb.
Can I say something?
I know that already.
Hold on, guys. Let me try and break down to you this way, Mingo. The NFL. Look. What makes the NFL great? Mingo, just wait a second. Mingo, please. What makes the NFL great is the scarcity of their games. Okay. So what they're doing is that they added an extra one, but you don't watch the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles play multiple times a week, except for maybe once. They'll play on like a Monday or they'll play on a Thursday. Then they'll wait a whole 10 days for them to play on a Sunday. That's what makes the NFL so great. So now the NBA literally has almost 10 times more games than the NFL. Okay, that's the one thing baseball is struggling with right now. They have 162 games. How do you keep an NBA?
If it got more games.
Hold on, Mingled. Let me finish. How do you keep an NBA watcher, like especially if you're trying to get somebody new in to watch these games? You create the in-season tournament to give somebody who's watching these games mean a little bit more so that they can watch more early. This is I'm not just lying to you about this, Mingled. The NBA is getting killed by the NFL in ratings. The fact that you get a really bad Thursday night
because the NBA is because the NBA doing
hold on, bro. Let me finish.
That's why.
Hold on, Mingo. The fact that the NFL can put a Titans and Giants game on Thursday Night Football, and they will outview anything that the NBA has, and the Giants and Titans game is not going to be a good game. You can put the Lakers and Bucks in prime time. The prime time game, the NFL game will still outview it. So they're trying to fight that.
Random. And you know what else the NFL did? Because entertainment matters and making money matters. You know what they added? Flex. You know what flex means? They can take a game and switch the time of the game to put a more entertaining game on that prime time. Like, you got to do those things because it's all a product. Like, I don't understand
those things.
I don't understand whether it's being done because it's new. That doesn't matter. It's about making money.
I'm not even talking about
JRob, it's dumb because LeBron won. That's the problem. It's dumb.
I don't care about LeBron. I'm not better than Jordan if that's what you're going at.
No, because
I don't care about LeBron. He said I'm better than Jordan if that's what you're going at.
Hold on, Random. Would you have said it was rigged if anybody else won? Would you have said it was rigged if anybody else won?
If the Pacers won, would you have said it was rigged?
If the Pacers won, would you have said it was rigged?
Yes, I would have said it's stupid. It's still dumb. Even if
no, that
it's stupid.
That's the last thing I'm gonna say to you, Bengal.
There's no point.
There's no point, bro.
Okay, there's a reason why things evolve. Okay, when Henry Ford made the first black buggy that you could only buy in black, and now that when people are out here driving around in Challengers and trucks and all this stuff, there's a reason why stuff evolve, or else things won't work. As society evolves, things evolve with it. People start traveling more, so planes get faster, cars get faster. We get different methods of transportation.
Is an in-season tournament.
That's all it is. They're just trying
to
make
football is an in-season tournament all year.
Jose, let me say this. All the NBA is trying to do.
Y'all been
let him go. Let him go.
In the lower half.
Go ahead, Primo. Go ahead, Primo. Do your thing.
God damn, can we talk down here on the lower half? What I'm saying is the reason why it's no need for an in-season tournament in the NFL, because it's automatically an in-season tournament in your division. You don't need to have an in-season tournament.
That's fair.
You see what I'm saying? If whoever wins the division, y'all really division to win the division to get into the playoffs anyway. So
you're kind of doing a round robin for the most part, unless you know what I mean. Like depending on your schedule, you're doing a round robin.
What makes the NFL work is that even in the playoffs,
implications on it. There's more
one game, bro. Just one game. That's what makes the NFL great.
So it does carry those same implications.
I mean, I don't think, but I just think ultimately these companies are about entertainment. Like the in-season tournament, things like this happen in other domestic leagues around the entire world. Like this is not something that
didn't hurt the NBA.
Yeah, this doesn't originate in the NBA. Like even the WNBA 2 years ago or 3 years ago introduced the Commissioner's Cup with the same implications as the in-season tournament, where they get paid at the end. They have regular season games that matter towards the cup. Like you get a financial prize at the end, but it's not like they are. I mean, if it makes money, it makes sense. That's all I'm gonna say.
And how long did that last?
I mean,
how long did that last?
They're still
doing it. They're still doing it now.
When does that? I don't know nothing about it. When did this happen?
This happened. Well, I mean,
it's been happening for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
even at college, like even though it's different, like college, they have like different tournaments in college. I know, but college been going on a lot longer. But they have the conference tournament and the March Madness. They have multiple tournaments, and that happened in college, even past the regular season games. So in those college tournaments determine your ranking for the March Madness. Not saying that in-season tournaments should do something like that, but like I said, the reason why they did it is because last year people were complaining about games not as competitive, players not playing, yada yada yada. And then as we saw, the games are a lot more competitive. Like it was like a playoff atmosphere, like that in-season championship game. It felt like a playoff championship game. The way the Lakers are playing, the way the Pacers are playing, the defense scheme that we saw.
All it's doing is giving the time between October and Christmas. They just want those games to matter.
That sounds like a playoff game.
I can't believe you're this stubborn, bro.
Can I ask you this though? When are we going to
give? He said that felt like a playoff game.
My question is, when are y'all going to give Adam Silver his credit for actually trying to listen to his audience? When his audience said games weren't too competitive, he added a season. I mean, that's just the facts. Like, anytime, like, ultimately, Adam Silver knows that people said the games don't seem as competitive anymore. So you add something new, so the game seemed different on the start of the year. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. He had an issue with low management, so he went out and he had an issue with people missing basketball games and winning awards, so they added. Like there's so many things that Adam Silver has done to listen to the audience, and yet people's work still care because they think they don't like the way the court looks or things like that. Like he's trying to listen to what his audience is asked for. I personally think he's trying.
Someone asked, "Is he better than Roger Goodell?" In the chat.
Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%.
So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Roger Goodell made the
and I'm gonna leave it alone. I ain't gonna say nothing
celebrate.
Else. First of all, they said they were gonna hang a banner too. By the way, that's okay. Anyway,
a banner is kind of crazy. I can't lie.
I mean,
with a franchise that got 17 rings,
bro,
you gonna hang
piece of fabric, y'all making it seem
you got
like
a franchise that done won 17 rings, and you got an in-season banner hanging Okay,
I
anyway.
It's a
I think that's the right team.
Matters.
But Gabe, to me, if
we
there's
got real
any
banners hanging too.
Yeah, but I was about to say, Primo, doesn't it seem like if there's any team to hang that banner, it's the team with 17 banners already hung up?
You'd be making fun of the
So
Pacers.
Boston got 17 too, though.
That's what you'd be
Boston
doing.
got 17.
I wanted to ask.
17 too, though.
Do you now that the beginning of the
Boston got
obviously,
17 too, though.
it's not going to matter right now, but do you think it's going to get jumbled up in between with the, like you said, JRob? Obviously, there's a cash grab, there's an entertainment grab, but eventually, do you think that this in-season tournament is going to count towards people's accolades? Do you think it's going
that's what I was asking earlier before I got up here. I said, I said if you look, I said you got to look at it like this. It will matter a generation or two from now. I think us right now, when we talk about it, we're not going to always bring up, like, we already got 2 or 3 Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP award winners. We got a few Larry Bird Finals Conference MVP final, but we don't talk about Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum and mention those two things right now. Mm-hmm. However, when Jason Tatum is 35 and retires and Jimmy Butler retires, maybe we will end up bringing those things up. I think ultimately the next generation of viewers in the NBA, like our kids and our kids, they're going to be telling us Victor Wembanyama is the GOAT over LeBron and Jordan because he got 6 NBA cups, 3 finals MVPs, 4 championships, 6 Western Conference Magic Johnson Western Conference awards. So I think in the next in the next decade, bro, when we start having kids, there's going to be those conversations. Those things are going to matter. Go ahead, Primo.
Contest. Remember that?
MJ
did the dunk contest. LeBron didn't.
Nobody uses dunk contest though. Nobody really.
They used to. No, they
used to.
It used to be a thing.
Like think about it like this. Like, for example, what if somebody wins? What if somebody wins MVP one year and they win most? What's that clutchest player of the year award?
Oh, clutch player.
How is that going to weigh into? How is that going to weigh into debates later on? Like, somebody may really say one day, I got so and so over Jordan and LeBron because
of the clutch.
One year in 2032, he won NBA. Yeah, right. MVP. He won NBA Cup, MVP, Finals MVP.
Right.
He won Clutch's Player of the Year, Eastern Conference MVP.
And I think that's why Jester's saying that's why it's dumb.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty. It is gonna be used nasty.
Those basketball talks is gonna be nasty work.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty.
They might as well name the NC.
I do agree.
The conversations could be nasty work, but when the league is making $1 billion doing it, that's not nasty work.
That's not nasty.
If you're worried, that's the point. If you're sitting here worried that the in-season tournament is going to start conversations that you don't like, don't be a part of the conversation. Ignore it. Like, we're all grown, right? You don't have to have conversations.
And you got to think. All these older players
play the games.
Facts. That I agree.
They got to play the games. They're regular season games. It's not like they add anything.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're mad, and I'm not gonna lie, if you think it's stupid for two-way contract players to make $500,000 guaranteed money and double their salary, then you're weird for pocket watching. I'm not gonna lie.
And I also think, let's be honest, the in-season tournament, Primo has hit it on the nose that I think matters the most. And as somebody, I cover the Lakers for those who don't know. One thing I talked about in one of my videos the other day was the in-season tournament, them winning the tournament, and I think any team that would have won the tournament, even the Pacers, it's a good momentum booster going out the rest, going through the. It make you feel good about something. It's good for locker rooms. I think it's like, let's be honest. Even though LeBron and the Lakers won it, how great was this moment for the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton?
Right.
Because there's a bunch of people who did not get to see him play because how many Pacers games are on at prime time? Mm-hmm. Not too many. So the whole world got to see this kid in full form do what he's doing. And he's probably going to be an East starter in the NBA All-Star game this year.
Easily.
So he's going to be an All-NBA. He's going to be an All-NBA player. And this tournament is the reason why. It's not the reason why that's happening, but it was able for like those media voters and people like that to really get a chance to see him play in the spotlight. And although they didn't beat the Lakers, they gave him a good shot. They kept it close most of the game. But you knocked off Giannis and Dame to get there, in a one-off game. And we
And
could all
Boston.
agree if it was 4 seed, if it was a 4, and in Boston, and if it was a 4, and if it was a 7-game series, Jester, 100%, I'd give the nod to the Bucks to win the series. But it's not. It's a one-off. Who's gonna bring their lunch pail tonight?
The March
and I think that
Madness
makes
tournament.
it cool.
That's
it's
all it is.
Yeah, that's all. So,
and the most outstanding player came out on top. That's all that happened.
So eventually, is it fair to add these accolades? That's the thing about it, Gabe. So like you said, we don't have to have these conversations, but now when you're doing rankings, does it matter? Is this going to eventually?
At context, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I mean, we don't really know.
At this point, I've heard so many different arguments on why people are ranked over this person and that person. At that point, it's up to you to care about how people rank it.
Anybody,
it's up to you to care because everybody ranks differently.
That's fair.
Like if they want to do it,
hold on. So
that they can't. I don't know.
Wait, can I say it before you go, Jester?
So this is my thing. So
it doesn't matter.
I'm not too worried about it because the way we talk about basketball, we don't automatically just list off accolades. We just talk about their game. So it's like it matters.
No, I agree.
I agree with that.
No, I'm saying
ESPN watches
that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
I mean, if the spaces you're in, maybe, but people that actually know ball, they don't.
You're right. Yeah.
I just think in a weird way, whether or not you wanna, if you want to put that value on the in-season tournament, you can. But I don't think like when LeBron winning the in-season tournament does not make him the undisputed GOAT over LeBron.
Right, but hey, what about? But some people are going. It doesn't make him undisputed GOAT, but people may tie that in just because it was the first one.
Nothing will though.
Like for example, like this year, right now, LeBron James I think is leading the NBA. LeBron is leading the NBA in fourth quarter scoring right now. So if he's leading the NBA in fourth quarter scoring, that means what? He's probably going to win Clutch's Player of the Year award, right? Who's going to bring that up? Somebody going to bring that up in a debate one day. It's not going to matter for people who know ball. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a big deal. But we added all this.
But that's all I'm saying, though.
They changed the conversation.
They should have been had this reward.
So we're gonna add
this many times.
All that, and we're gonna start counting all this. So why, when everybody talk about the GOAT debate or any type, nobody use All-Star game MVPs?
Well, the All-Star game, I think, Jester, honestly, I believe I will blame the era change.
Them, though.
Well, for me, Jester, I think
people does that. I've never heard somebody bring up.
No, they don't, Jester. I don't think. I think if you would have asked this question, I think the All-Star game's competitiveness diminished immensely, and that was the issue.
That's another thing they tried to change too to bring viewership. They tried to change the All-Star game.
Wait, hold on, Gabe. Let me do something real quick. Shout out Reggie Reg with the $5 donation. Didn't even watch it. Let's see what the AAU champs do in June. If this is the most skilled era in history, talent should be enough. Fans who like real quote unquote basketball would rather see rule changes instead of gimmicks.
Fair point. I'd rather see rule changes.
But the tournament is not really a gimmick because it's just regular basketball games.
I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's a cash grab. I
don't
think it's a gimmick. I think it's a cash grab.
Yeah, but let me just hold on before.
Definitely a cash grab.
But I will say this, fellas. I appreciate y'all coming on. I wish we had more time to talk about this, but Fluent is up next with Fluent's top 10, I think, or Fluent. Yeah, I think it's Fluent's top 10. I think they're talking top 10 players in the league or something like that right now. So make sure y'all go check that out. I appreciate y'all boys for coming through. It was a fun conversation. We definitely got to tap in next week. Pull up on me and to the group, to the chat. I mean, we'll see y'all later. Y'all be good.
Shout out to them. They just made this for LeBron.
Shout out to them NBA Cup.